Good morning, friends. It's been a little bit since I've hopped on. We officially started our new school schedule, so the transition of me working and the kids and a new school and all of that has been fun, but it's just required a lot of my attention. And I wanted to hop on and I wanted to give you guys an opportunity. I've had a lot of messages, I've had emails, and for those of you that have me on Facebook, you've been following my updates on J-Bay, and for those of you that don't know who Jaden is, I will put him in the picture with me on the cover photos, so you would have seen him before even clicking on this video. But he is my nephew and the closest thing to a fourth son that you can possibly get. And he is struggling. For those of you that are on my dad's YouTube channel, you know what Jay's going through. He had a sickle cell outbreak, and my dad was traveling. He came home, took Jaden into the hospital immediately, and just yesterday he was airlifted to a specialized hospital. He was in critical condition, had 3 blood transfusions. I just got an update. He just had another one last night, a temp of 103. He is just really going through the ringer, and for those that do know and that have been praying and that have been rallying for our family and for Jaden, I appreciate it more than you know, and so does Jaden. Every time he calls me in tears and in such pain, that little boy has a pain tolerance that most of us don't even have, because every day he feels pain, but he's so used to it that it doesn't bother him like it would us. So for him to be crying out in pain means it's pretty severe. So every time he calls me in that state, it breaks my heart. I was at work yesterday, my dad called me in tears, and it reminded me of Zeke and his situation. And you know, it's one thing when it's somebody else's family going through it, and you tell them what you know you're supposed to do, right? You tell them, pray, God's got your baby, God's got your family. Those are all very true, and I've seen it in my personal life with my own children and with my Jaden. I prayed with my dad like he did for me when it was Zeke, and I said, he is the Lord's God. We ask right now that you cover Jaden, that you protect him, and that's exactly what God did. And we know that God was with Jaden, right, boys?
Yeah.
Yes. And so J-Bay is struggling. For those that have sent him, I got a few Legos, and I'm going up to, I'm not going to say, well, no, I can say the hospital. I'm going up to Springfield to see my boy today after I get off of work, and I'll be bringing the gifts that were sent. If you would like to send anything, he loves Legos and V-Buck cards. For those asking me what a V-Buck card is, it is, you can get them anywhere, on Amazon, Walmart, Target. They're for your Nintendo Switch. It's, you can buy things, the boys call them skins, but really it's like the outfits for their guys, and battle passes, and all the fun things. And he loves Pokemon cards. That's a huge thing. That boy loves Pokemon cards, and any kind of jammies. He's a size medium, you know, anything cozy like that. If you want to set a pajama or a blankie, he loves dinosaurs, Pokemon, Fortnite. What else does J-Bay like, boys? Legos. He loves Legos, huh? And so all the gifts that have been sent in have been put to such great use. It's hard being in a hospital for so long, isn't it, boys? And so having something to just keep him occupied and to feel loved it truly lifts his spirits up. So I really appreciate that as well. I will keep you guys updated, but as of right now, it is Friday. I will have this posted the next day because I want to edit a few things on it. I apologize for the quality of the video. We're driving and it's been chaotic, and I know I won't have time after work to film because I'm literally heading straight to my boy, and I got to pick up a few things for him on the way. But my dad's been with him, and he is in good hands. The doctors are doing amazing. I just ask that you guys continue to pray. You know, I'm fully transparent. There will be a ton of cost with all this hospital stay and Jaden's medications and the airlift. And if, for those that have asked, can we help in a financial way? If you would like to give to that, we don't have a link or anything like that because we don't even know what the amount of the bill's gonna be. We don't know any of that. And we don't need to know it. But if you want to give to that, please, if you give to the link below to New Impact, please put for Jaden's expenses. Whether that be, he might need medication when he gets out. And by might, I mean he does. He has monthly bills of medication for his sickle cell. That's a disease that he has. It doesn't just go away. We know God can heal him of that. But as of right now, that is a medication that he is on every single day. And there's just some other costs, and with bills and gas and the food and missed work for the parents, all of those type of things, that adds up. And so for those asking if they can help in that way, I will link our account below for the ministry. That is going to go straight to New Impact. Please, again, we get donations throughout a day. So it could be very random donations. Some of you guys are on a monthly subscription. But if you feel led to give specifically to that need, please label that or message me and say, hey, I gave, this is what I would like it to go towards. Anything like that would be so appreciated. I am very transparent when it comes to needs that we are meeting, especially when it comes to needs in my own family. And so for those that will run with this and say, oh my goodness, she only raises money for her family. Well, I'm actually coming on here and telling you that's exactly what it would actually be going towards is Jaden. And yes, he is my family. If I could have kept him to myself, I would. I'm selfish with my babies. Like, I love them so much. I don't even want to be on my way to work. I love my work. They have been so supportive. They told me I could leave yesterday. They told me I don't even need to come in today if he's not stable. And so I'm surrounded by love and support, and that whole school is praying for Jaden. So pretty powerful to see. But I am transparent. I'm letting you know right now, if you want to give to that, it would be going to Jaden. Jaden is like my own child. I will never not say that. So if that's something you don't want to do because he's, you know, my baby, then don't feel led to do that. If you don't feel led to do that, don't do that. I'm not saying give to it. I don't want to get on a rant, but I don't want somebody to take this and run with it. And for those that will say, well, how do you know how much to raise for it? I don't know how much to raise for it. But you know what? I do know that God knows the bills. God knows the need. God knows how much time of work his dad's gonna miss, and they really can't afford that. The gas is adding up for, not myself, I'm okay, my dad's okay, but there are other people who don't have the luxury to be able to do that without really hurting themselves. And so that's what it's going towards. So whether that be $5, $10, $20, anything adds up, guys. I've seen so many GoFundMes and so many campaigns where there's been 100 people that give $5, and there's been 100 people that give $100, and there are so many ways to meet a need. And so I just want to be fully transparent on what we do, how we do it. And so this video is strictly for Jaden. It's not for any other needs that have come in. Yes, there are a lot. There are actually some very great needs that I need to meet this weekend and get with people and legitimize those needs, because there are some that have some red flags up, so I just need to have verification for all that. But this video specifically is for Jaden. While that might be selfish in some people's eyes, it's for Jaden. So whether that be through your prayers, I ask that even if you donate or send a gift to him, that you do be praying for our boy. There's such power in prayer. I want him home. I'm so heartbroken that it's been a long time without my boy home and safe and being able to just love him every single day. And so please pray for that. I don't know if I mentioned this, but if you do send a gift, I will link my P.O. box. I have given people that I personally know my personal address, but I don't just give that out. So I will link the New Impact P.O. box, so that way if you want to send something to Jaden, you can. Peter, you brought the Legos and stuff, right, today? Yeah, so we have some Legos in here that we're going to bring to our boy today, and I know he'll love it, and I'm going to stop at Target on my way and get him a few goodies and whatnot. He got sick on his clothes, so he needs some new items to just be comfortable. And if you want to give $20 for me to pick something up for him, I will absolutely do that as well. Whatever is the most convenient for you guys, it does not matter. We so appreciate you. I know I went on a little bit of a rampage about some of the negative, but I hope that doesn't overshadow the positive, because God has been so faithful for this ministry. And I know I've seen so many people, whether that be through TikTok or YouTube or whatever platform I follow them on, that have ministries and are doing things so impactful for the kingdom. And in the videos, they feel the need to explain. I'm like, girlfriend, you don't have to explain or justify yourself. And yet I find myself doing the very same thing. And I don't think it's out of a place that I feel the need to have to explain out of fear that somebody will run with it. But I always want to be transparent to where if somebody says something, I can say, actually, go to my video 3 days ago, or go to my video a month ago. I talked about what you're asking about. So that's kind of why I do it. I like to be, maybe I like to overshare. I know that you guys know me and you know what we do, but I just want to share that with you. And I will come on. I'm not sure when. My focus has honestly strictly been on my boy starting a new school. I've had my new job, and my boy is struggling in the hospital. So I have a fun, exciting few things for the ministry. We've done some really awesome things this month for families, and I want to share all of that with you, but this video is not intended for that right now. While those are awesome, and I'm so thankful that we've been able to do those things because of all of you, I just want this to be a focus on J-Bay. So I hope that got out there. Sorry for talking so long, but I've missed you guys. You guys are truly family. I read your comments. I might not reply to all of them, but I do reply to, if you email me, I do reply to that, and I do reply to my Facebook. If you have me on Facebook, it's Allison McLean. You can always add me on there as well, and you can keep updated with me on that platform. We also have a new Impact Facebook. We're not as active on that, but when we get messages through that, we do respond to those immediately. It's linked to my phone. Again, our email, we'll link that below. If you have a need, if you have a prayer request, whatever it is, you can always use that resource for that. Again, thank you so much. I know that, and the boys were even talking about it this morning, that, again, we don't have to know the number because God doesn't. So I believe the donations that come in through this video is going to be the exact number needed to cover everything. I firmly believe that. I don't need to know the number because God does. That's all that matters to me. So I just want to pray. I would ask that you pray with me, and then I'll let the boys share something about J-Bay or whatever they would like to tell you guys. But God, I just ask right now that you be with Jay and his dad and my dad, Lord. I ask that you give them peace and comfort. I ask that you surround Jaden. I ask that you know everything that is not going right in his body, Lord. I ask that you just cover that. I ask that you heal him. I ask that you raise his blood count where it needs to be at, Jesus. I ask that you give him peace and alleviate this back pain that he's been in, and take away the cough that he's been struggling through. I ask that you let this boy know how loved he is, not only by you, Jesus, but by his whole family and by a huge community. I thank you for the blessing, Lord. I thank you for the testimony that this will be to others, and it's all in your name, God. Amen. Boys, we're gonna be stuck by a train. Yeah, that's not good, because I hope we're not late, but it is what it is. Do you guys want to say something about your J-Bay? Peter, you can't get out of your seat. You need to just talk. They can hear you. Okay. Well, what would you like to say? You don't want to say anything?
I do.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Because I don't know what I was going to say.
That's okay.
I want to say something.
Okay, go ahead. What would you like to say to Jaden or about Jaden?
I was going to say to Jaden,
Are we praying for our boy?
yes.
Yes. Do we believe God's going to heal him?
Yes.
Is Jaden a strong, brave boy?
Yes.
Are we ready for him to be home?
Yes.
And how much do we love Jaden?
28.
28? How much, baby?
Okay.
Infinity. And Pete Man's been struggling, huh? Yeah, it's okay. You don't need to cry. It's okay. Peter has the biggest heart. And Jaden's your best friend, huh? And that's okay. He's gonna come home, all right? Ready? Tell him, Jesus has got my best friend. And he is healed in Jesus' name. And we will receive it. And we believe it. Because God has promised us to do great things. In Jesus' name, amen. He's got our boy buddy, I promise. It's okay. It's okay to be upset. Mommy cried yesterday too, okay? Okay. We love you guys. We hope you have a blessed day. Please keep me in your prayers, huh? Yep, he's struggling just like all of us, and that's his buddy, so we just want him home, but we know he's coming home, isn't he? And I'll FaceTime him with you later, okay? All right, tell him have a great, blessed day. I wanted to hop on. It's evening time. It's almost 7, and I'm on my way home from seeing my baby. And I don't know how this will even mesh with the video that I did this morning with J-Bay, and Josh will have to come up with something on where to put this in, but I just wanted to give another update, the most recent update that I have. I walk in, my boy was so excited to see me, and I needed it too. I needed to see him. I needed to hug him. I've not seen him for a couple days, and it's just hard. And when you walk in, you see your baby fighting and just not feeling good, and you know when they just have that sickness and that exhaustion in their eyes, and it just breaks your heart. And you know, I was on my way up there, and I kept thinking in my mind about how, you know, and I was with my brother, so, and I love him, but you don't have time to really clear your mind when you're with company, whether that be your dad or your brother or whoever. You're not alone with just you and God. But I kept thinking in my mind about the fact that this little boy, this disease, I mean, he feels pain every day, but he doesn't even realize it as much as what he's going through right now. It's just common for him, and he's just strong, and it just reminds me of just the struggle that this little boy has had to endure. And seeing him in the hospital, we were praying with him, and we sang, and we had worship music going, and he sat up, and we brought him gifts. And Susie, the Legos you sent him, the spaceship Legos, he loved those, and he got some Fortnite characters and V-Bucks, and we got him some pajamas from his other auntie, and he was just so over the moon with his little gifts. And we got him a new blanket and a cup to encourage drinking and all of those things. And I don't even know what I want to say, but I had to go straight from seeing J-Bay like that and praying with him, and he was in pretty good spirits, but you could just tell the little guy was in pain, and that makes me in pain. And I went straight from there. Again, I didn't have any alone time in between all this. Like, I had no time with just me and the Lord to clear my mind. And so I went straight from there to worship practice and a song. I was at work today, and a little girl was having a hard time. So I asked her, I said, "You want to go for a walk? Let's just go clear our mind and pray." So I took her out of the classroom, and we went for a walk, and they were having their worship time at the school. And the song "Worthy of It All," it was the chorus to that song. I hadn't heard that in a long time. And it just, I was like, oh my goodness, like, God's worthy. He's worthy of it all. And I felt encouraged in that moment. I felt the peace of the Lord in that moment, and I was like, man, I really needed that, just that little fill before I finished my work day. And then we wrapped things up at the school, and I went straight from the school to Jaden, and like I said, I went straight from the hospital to worship practice. And there was a song that wasn't quite right in the set anyways, and we just kind of added it in there as a filler song. And I said, you know what, let's nix this. I didn't feel like this was the song anyways. It wasn't a song really that God had given me for that week anyway. I said, let's download this song. We've never practiced it. Let's see if it even works. And so we got that all set up, and was like, yeah, this is it. Because God is worthy of it all. Doesn't matter what we're going through. It doesn't matter what struggles we have. When I was singing these songs, I was like trying to get out of my head. I was like, okay, that's not the right key. And so you can't always just fully worship when other people are around. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like on Sunday mornings, game on. I don't care who's around me. I don't care what's around me. I'm going to worship. I will be at the altar myself if I need to. But I don't mean it in that way. But when you're practicing and when you're leading worship, it is so different at practice than it is on a Sunday morning, because you are working through all of the weirdness and, oh, that didn't sound right. No, maybe that wasn't working. And you're thinking of things. You're not fully just immersed in the worship. But that song did not matter. I didn't care what the key. I didn't care about anything, because I just sang to the Lord. I just want to encourage you guys that He's worthy of it all. If you ever heard that song, it goes, you are worthy of it all. And you are worthy of it all. For from you all things, and to you are all things. God, you deserve the glory. And you are worthy of it all. God, you are worthy of it all. For from you all things, and to you are all things. Well, you deserve the glory. And when I kept singing that over and over again, I was like, He's worthy of it all. He deserves all my glory. No matter what we're walking through, but sometimes we need reminded of that. And it's not as typical for a practice for me to say, you know what, I need to go and clear my mind and just be with me and the Lord. But I had my van at the church, and I knew even on the way home I just needed a moment, but I didn't have a moment because we had a timeline to be on. And my son needed to come home and all of the things that you can't really move things around sometimes. But I knew that I just needed a moment away from all of it. And so I just want to tell you, this might be an extra long video that I didn't even intend it to be. But if you're going through something, and it might not even be anything that would be considered big in the sense of you have a loved one in the hospital or whatever the world would consider big, but even if you're going through a spiritual warfare, you feel down, maybe you feel distance from the Lord, distance from even yourself, you haven't been poured into. How can you truly pour out when you haven't been poured into? I mean, we say that with our words, but do we actually believe what we're saying? I catch myself a lot of times saying something to somebody because it sounds good. I'm like, but because I know it to be true. And I don't ever mean it in a way that sounds good. That sounded bad. But just, we become so accustomed to saying something that's second nature. And sometimes we don't even hear what we're saying because we're just speaking. Do you actually believe that? Because if you're feeling distant, or maybe you're just feeling ran down and defeated, and maybe you're in a bad mood, you don't even realize why you're in a bad mood, but you're like, man, I'm so over life. Maybe you truly don't. Maybe you're in such a distant space from even yourself that you don't even realize you're in a bad mood anymore because it's become your everyday. And if you really do some inner seeking there, you're going to figure out that you haven't been being poured into, and you haven't been going to the source that we need, because I have been in that place so many times in my life, and things like this can cause me to get in that place where I'm like, I needed this done, and I have 3 kids, and now I have a full-time job, and I have a ministry, and that has a lot of needs, and all the things that we have, and all the roles that we have as a mom, and a wife, and a pastor's wife, which has a lot of roles, and now a teacher, and ministry, and New Impact distracted, all these amazing things that God has blessed me with, but you can get so bound up in that you get so distracted and drowned out by all the noise that you don't even realize anymore that you're just walking your day-to-day life and you're not seeking the Lord and giving Him the glory. And you're not intentionally doing it, but you're not doing anything wrong either. You're not going to God, but you're also not going to Him. You're not seeking Him daily. You're not going and getting your cup filled. So you're just being. We're just being. We're just walking, and we're just doing what we're supposed to do because we can do that. We almost become so in our zone and in our role that we can do it in our sleep. But I don't know about you guys, when my cup's not full, I feel it. And I felt it. I felt heavy today. I felt heavy this week with my baby struggling, and even before that I was feeling a little weighted down, and just walking and hearing a chorus of a song, I was like, yeah, God's worthy of it all. And everything, He's worthy of it all. And so if that's you today, then maybe that's why I came back on. This is gonna be a lengthy video, so that's okay, because for those of you that stayed on, you're the ones that needed that message, and I'm gonna be praying for you guys. Truly I am. I know I said this video was just about J-Bay, but you know, I also said that testimonies will come of Jaden. And Jaden, seeing him like that, even spoke to me. And it reminded me of just some of the things we do. We just walk, and we're just us. And sometimes we need to be more than just us. Because God has so much for us to do, but we don't even see it when we're just so distracted by the roles that we have. So, you're a blessing. You have an importance. You have a role. No matter what you're going through, no matter what season, you could be in the best season. But God still has more for you to do. I don't know when He's coming to get us, but I know as long as I'm here, I have more to do. And I want more of God. And a little boy in a hospital, seeing him like that and reading scripture over him from his friends that wrote him cards, reminded me of all of it. Seeing his joy. See, Jaden isn't just happy, he has joy. There's a difference, because happiness comes from circumstances around us, but joy comes from the Lord. And Jaden has joy, true joy. It's not happiness. Because if it was happiness, guess what? My boy wouldn't be joyful. He'd be sad. He'd be angry. And when they say faith like a child, I understand, because you could ask that baby if he was upset, or if he was angry, or if he was mad at God, or if he, why me? Why do I have to have this disease? He would not say that. He would tell you, God has me. God has healed me. And so when they say faith like a child, it's because we are so innocent that the world hasn't corrupted us into thinking, oh, of course me. It would be me. Why me? Everything wrong happens to me. I'm too busy. I don't even have time for the Lord. I'm too busy. You don't understand, Allie. Yeah, that's great that you say take my 10 minutes with the Lord, but I don't even have 10 minutes in a day. And by the time I have 10 minutes, I'm so exhausted, my body can't even function. So I'm going to bed. You don't get it. Because we're so bound up in what the world would do to distract us that we don't have that innocent faith. And we don't have that joy anymore because we allow the world to take it. Don't you dare let Satan cripple that joy. If your joy comes and goes, you never had the joy. I'm not saying you never had it all together. I'm saying that you don't currently have joy. Joy is in here. It doesn't mean that when I struggle that, oh, I'm not joyful and that I forgot what joy is, but sometimes we need to pull that back out because we buried it so deep. We suppressed it so far down that we don't even, it's like a dusty thing. Dust it off the shelf. Get your joy back. Wake it up. Because we deserve to be joyful. We have so much to be thankful for, and that's just what God's been giving me and downloading me in my quiet time alone. And so I just wanted to share that. Again, I don't know when this will be in the video, if it even will be in the video with Jaden. Maybe it'll be a separate video, but however it works out, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate what you do for the ministry. I hope that it doesn't get drowned out by the noise of all of it, that I'm upset that the ministry has responsibilities. I'm blessed. And I don't even feel like I need to say that. You guys know it. I'm blessed to be a part of it. I'm blessed that you guys have come and partnered with us, and truly partnered with us in many ways. It's a family. It's a unit. I couldn't even be doing any of this without you guys and without your prayers and your generosity. And so I appreciate you, and I know I always say that, but it's because I mean it. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so I'm going to keep repeating it because it's how I truly feel. I am blessed and I'm thankful for all of you. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a blessed weekend or week, whenever this uploads, whatever day it is. It's the day that you need to see it. So have a blessed morning, afternoon, night. I love you.